Okay, now I'm going to take you to an Android Droid X phone, and this is part 2 of the Mobile UC configuration. The first part we went through the Mobile UC configuration tool, and I showed you how to configure the PBX portion and the subscriber portion, and then I also told you that there is a file that's created and we need to get that file onto the user device. In our case, it's an Android Droid X. So just to recap, several ways to do that. One way is to copy the file from your PC and then get that file onto your Droid. Or you can plug in your Droid to your PC and copy the file. Typically what's going to happen in one of our customers' environments is they're going to use a TFTP server, or they're going to use an SMTP relay. So I'm going to recap just real quick. I'm going to bring you back over here. Hopefully you can see this here. Remember, we had the configuration file. I came up and I looked at that one file, and then we just did one file at a time here. You can do plenty if you want to at a time. So you just email right here, and I'm emailing this one subscriber. There's some variables and everything gets kind of put in here into the variables, and so you don't have to worry about that. Alright, so that's one way of doing it. If you're doing a bunch of phones at one time, then you would email configuration files right here. So let's say you had a bunch of Androids that you were setting up at a company, and then you could select all those files right here. Alright, and then there's one. There could be plenty of those there, and then I would just check all the ones, or check all, and then this is where those variables come in. It's going to email everybody and put it to their inbox, and going to put their variables in this particular email here, and also is going to attach to their configuration file. Remember, we got to get that configuration file onto the Android device for the Mobile UC client to find it and auto configure the mobile device. Okay, I'm just going to show you how that works. Again, we just did one. Okay, so let's go to take a look at our Android device here. So here's an Android Droid X phone, and just quickly, I'm going to go into my mail here, and we'll see there's my configuration file, and then I can go into that configuration. You see how it put in this automatically and put in my variables in here based on my particular configuration. So this was a generic email, and it just put these things in based on my profile that I set up, or my configuration file. Let me scroll to the bottom there, and you see that there's a file there. See right here. Alright, so we can oh, sorry about that. I actually clicked on it, and since it's a number, it wants to dial it. And there's all that you can see. I sent multiple messages. They were just all in one here. So again, this is the file that needs to be put on your Droid. Okay, so what I suggest, or the way I did it, if you're configuring this in a lab, and it becomes a little bit easier, is, once you have this file either in your email or what have you, you need some kind of file manager, and there's plenty of them out there. I use this File Expert right here, and then what you want to do is copy that file, and where you want to put it at is, if I go to my files right here, I'm going to this top one, I'm going to the SD card, And if we look down, let's go all the way down here. And you'll see that I just copied that file right into my SD card. Right, so all you need to do is have that file on your phone. You need to get it there some way. Once it's there, once it's in the root directory of the SD card, then you're all set up. Then what happens is, let's go back to the home screen. Okay, and then let's bring up our mobile UC client. So this mobile UC client can be downloaded from VApps, and it's a subscription, so they charge you so much every month to have that app and use that app. So once you download it from VApps, then you'll get your charge on your regular bill, whether it be a consumer bill or corporate liable. Anyway, let's go in here. Now, as soon as this app is downloaded, there's a daemon that kind of runs in the background and becomes kind of part of the phone application on the Android. So since I have my file in here, I'm going to click on Account Overview, and you'll see that this is auto-populated. This is all the stuff that we did back on our configuration tool back here, and it just pulls it in from the file. All right, there's our enterprise feature access codes, my enterprise DID, that's my actual phone number when it's in the dock, things like that. So go back, and then here's my default outgoing mode. I want it to always ask me. And widget status, I'll go over the widgets another time, just a widget that goes on your home screen if you want to choose to prompt or always use business or always use mobile persona. And then contact system admin. Remember, we had set that up. There's my name there, my mobile number, and all that stuff. But remember, we had originally programmed that inside the mobile configuration when we set up the subscriber file, I believe. Excuse me, when we set up the PBX. So this PBX here, remember that's the administrator, maybe the company's administrators or whatever, and that kind of gets bundled in with that configuration file. So you create a configuration file, and you can have several PBX systems, but when you create a configuration file, the first thing you do is choose a PBX system, right? So you can, I guess you can have several PBX systems. I don't know. Maybe a customer will have a VIA and call manager, and they can set up to, if we're taking care of things for them, Verizon, and one administrator can take care of a bunch of customers, something like that. Okay, so that is it, and the last thing I'll show you, which we have a whole video on how this all works. As far as outside the dock, I will do an in the dock video soon. But just to show you how this works, let's go to our phone. This is our regular Verizon phone app, and let's put let me just put some funny number in there. Let's say 832-555-5656. Now if I choose to call here, you'll see what happens. Since this is all configured and it's configured to prompt me, you'll see what comes up. It wants to, it's asking me, because I told it in the configuration file to ask me every time I place a call, it's going to ask me, do I want my mobile persona, which is my personal, number, everything's going to come from my regular cell phone, or my business persona, which is going to do my dual stage dialing, and dial out using my SIP trunks from Verizon, UCAS, what have you. And again, all this is demonstrated in another video, the MBA EFA Mobile UC video, which I explain all the magic that goes on in the background. Hopefully this has been helpful to you, And thanks for listening.